So tonight's, the title that we gave tonight is the sticky stuff. How do we do the hard stuff when we want to emanate love, we want to be in peace, we want to be in joy, but the person, place, or thing in front of us is provoking us in every way and setting us up not to love, not to forgive, not to be patient and all that. What about that? What about the sticky stuff? What about when somebody's really pushing our buttons and so on? So before I channel, I just want to share that you guys might have seen this before. The ego model, our ego, is not like an enemy, right? Our ego is just all the things we do to protect and shield our vulnerable childlike parts, the parts of us that are hurting or wounded that need some protection. So the ego is not like an enemy that we want to annihilate. Our egoic parts are parts of us, the parts of our personality, the things in our family, our upbringing, our life that have shaped who we are, our skills, our talents, our lack of them. All of that is our egoic nature, and we want to embrace those parts. We want to embrace them, help them to love them, help them to relax and settle, and love ourselves in those parts. So here's what our ego wants us to do in relationship. It wants to jump on the drama triangle. It wants us to either play the rescuer to someone, the persecutor, or the victim. And this is it, right here in a nutshell. This is what the ego does. In every situation that we get in, and it's sticky, it's tough, we're not feeling it, it's not flowing, the love's not easy, we're going to be tempted to jump on the triangle at one of these three. And then we just will run around and around and around and around and play any of these roles and switch roles, and we feel victimized by somebody, they really hurt our feelings. And then we're mad at them. And then, then we want to save them because we hurt them. We feel guilty that we got mad at them. And we'll just go all around there. And we can go around this triangle a few times in a few minutes. Or it might take years. For instance, maybe our whole lives as moms, we've been caretaking and loving and giving and forgiving and rescuing our children from potential harm or hurt or whatever, disease or whatever, the caretaking. And then later we're dried up, used up, burnout, and we feel victimized. And then guess what? Then we're mad at them. Those kids don't appreciate or whatever. And we do, so this is what the ego looks like. So Judah's been talking to us what we're going to do if we want to go up into our 5D self, and so we're living from our soul then, is we're going to switch that up. If somebody's playing the victim in front of us, we're going to help them, we're going to coach them or challenge them to accept the truth that they're creating their own reality. Right? Unless they're a child, an underage child that's being abused or truly victimized, right? We're not talking about the obvious, true victims, right? We're going to coach them and challenge them to understand that they are the creator of their own reality. And when we're feeling victimized by somebody's responses to us or our circumstances or our job or whatever, we're going to buy the truth. Hey, sweetie, come up here. We're going to buy the truth that we're creating our own reality. And we're going to shift out of that role of victimization into being the creator. I hope that helps a little bit. Any questions about that at all? Yeah, and I've got these. If anybody wants them, I can send them to you by email. All right, here we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to invite angels to come. And what they do is they kind of move in to my house. And they use my mouth to talk. So it might look a little weird, and it is kind of weird, but it's cool because they love me, and they're going to be gentle, and they have really sweet things to say, okay? And I trust them, so I don't mind speaking for them. Is that okay with you girls? Okay, all right. All right, here we go. Hello, hello, good evening, Judah family. Welcome, welcome. We're glad that you're here. You are infinitely loved and treasured. You are a treasure. You are a treasure. And your being here indicates that you are a person of love and high consciousness and moving towards wholeness and healing. All of your parts being whole, all of your parts being integrated. You're moving into being this loving parent for yourself. Loving and parenting all of your parts into flow and ease and into their rightful place as heir to the kingdom. You're so very powerful. You're so very powerful. You are never powerless unless you give your power away. Have you given your power away? Are you ready to take it back and own it? Own it. You see, the culture has made you believe that to be powerful is a bad thing. But we would say to be forceful is a bad thing, to be controlling. If we want to use the word bad, good, and so on, it's not preferable, but it will do for now. Force is the activity of the ego. When you are wanting to force yourself or force another, whether it's subtly with niceties and politeness and so on, compliments or whatever seems approved of in your culture, it is still force, and it is the MO of the ego. But power comes from surrender and letting go, trusting. All is well. Now, when you begin to come into your power and to trust and release, your fearful parts will show up, and they will try to push and pull you around and tell you that you must take control, and if you don't, everything shall go to you know where. We are watching our words this evening. There are little ones here. You see, anytime you're tempted to control, understand that it is okay. You are only feeling afraid. So don't berate yourself when you're being controlling. That does you no good at all. No good at all. When you feel the urge to control, just comfort your parts that are fearful and frightened. And ask yourself, why am I afraid? And behind and with accompanying every fear is a lie. Fear is always built on a lie. Deal with the lie and the fear will die. This vessel was working with a gentleman this week, very enlightened gentleman who had made a courageous move some years ago to stop working, to stop being the big man on campus and the breadwinner and the game player and all of that status-driven stuff. And he got off that train altogether, off that merry-go-round, which is not merry at all. And he moved to the woods with his beloved, and he began to live in more quiet and solace and meditation. Now, some years later, he is being shamed by people in his family for not doing the stuff that men are supposed to do. And so we challenged this precious one. We said, there's a lie here, a lie that says you're not good enough and you've not done enough and you must do more and be more to have more. And if you don't do more to be more and have more, then you are not good enough, and shame shall come on you from your parents and so on. And that is a lie. It is a lie, because this one in particular, now we're not saying everyone needs to quit their job. Don't misunderstand. We're just saying this one in particular is called to be a high presence bringer through meditation and seclusion, and this is his path. And so he must be extremely courageous in casting off the demands of the culture. You see, for men in particular, there is, you see, it's okay for this vessel to be taken care of by a husband, but it's not okay for him because he's a man to be taken care of by his wife. What is wrong with that picture? What is wrong with that picture? Perhaps his wife's high calling in this life is to bring in provision so that her husband can become an enlightened person. And this could be a joy and a great heavenly reward for her, you see. And she loves to do it. She enjoys it. She blesses her husband in his spiritual pursuit. She is doing what she wants to do by providing for the family. So why is he ill at ease? Because of the lies and cultural conditioning that says men must be princes on a white horse. And they must never fall off. Are you with me? Do you understand? Do you see what is wrong with that picture? And what about these precious young men who are sweet, precious, innocent souls inside that simply only want to be loved and do not always want to play the hero? So be the creator of your own reality. If you are meant to live in silence and quiet, do it. If you are meant to run $1 billion company and invent new and astounding inventions that will redirect human consciousness, do that. If you are meant to serve others, maybe the elderly, or maybe serving food with love and with a kind word, do that. If you are meant to collect garbage or cut grass or be a healer or a teacher, it does not matter as long as you're doing what you're doing with presence and consciousness and in alignment with your heart and what you want. What you want matters. What you want matters. For if you're not doing what you want to do, you shall always feel like a victim. And if you feel like a victim, then you shall be in poverty. So you must align with your dream. And if you don't see it exactly on the horizon, keep imagining in your meditation. Imagine continually what you want. And don't be afraid to try on things until you find out what you want. If you don't know what you want, you must begin to enter a time of discovery to find it. Just like when you go to the clothing store, you probably, sometimes you may see something and think, that's exactly what I want, and you don't need to try it on. You can buy it and be completely pleased with it. But many times you must try on several things, maybe even go to several different places before you find what feels just like who you are and represents you well. So if you know what you want, wonderful. And if you don't know, try on a few things until you get warmer, closer to what you want. So always leaning into something that makes you happy. If it makes you happy, do that. It could be as simple as maybe you got off a terrible phone call and everything went wrong. Maybe opening a window or standing in the sunshine or drinking some good water, or asking someone for a hug, but leaning with every action and every moment towards what makes you feel happy, aligning with your soul. Now, speaking to the adults here, it is not likely that an adult in this room is being victimized, legitimately victimized. It is a possibility. If you are legitimately victimized, we encourage you to remove yourself, your physical self, from the material situation, person, place, or thing which is victimizing you. But you are adults, and you are sentient, and you are consciousness, and you are, because you are here, we know you are moving up the scale of consciousness into to higher and higher levels and sustained ways of love, joy, and peace. And so, stop yourself when you begin to feel victimized and create a different reality for yourself.